to Ringside Rhetoric. Yes, where we are hidden truth in the face. I am your co-host today, Charmaine.
And I am DJ Steele.
And we have our special guest here today. His name is Damian Burris.
Damian Burris.
All right, listen, I kind of messed it up. No point on it, but it's all good. So we're going to have him here today to talk about a very deep topic that plagues our community, and not only our community, but across the nation. Financial debt. You know, how can we get over that? You know, a lot of our families, and not only families, you know, singles as well, living from paycheck to paycheck. So how can we get over the hump of that financial debt
and get financial stability?
Yes. So Damian, would you please, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Damian Burris. I was raised in a small town called Bennettsville, Marlboro County.
How many stoplights?
Oh, okay. All right. Taking in the
it's not Antigua. I got about two more.
Hey, we got 4 by now.
Okay. We got Walmart. I'm not sure, you know.
No, we don't have that.
Oh, right. But no, small town. Bennettsville, South Carolina, about 2 hours from here.
Okay.
So, born and raised there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm church boy to the heart, saved, full of the Holy Ghost.
Good.
So that's where it all kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
I moved from Bennettsville in 2003. I graduated high school there in 2001.
Okay.
Moved there in 2003. Started to pursue a law enforcement career.
Oh, wow.
2004.
Law enforcement.
Yes. Started out working as a jailer, Chesterfield County.
Okay.
And from there, I went to Police Academy in 2004 and started policing. I got promoted to detective in 2006.
Wow, detective, 2006.
Yes.
Okay, so how long were you a detective?
12 years.
Wow.
Yep, 12 years. So from 2000, well, actually 10 years, from 2006, and I stopped in 2016.
You were in Columbia or
Kershaw County.
Oh, wow.
I wound up retiring in 2016.
Retiring. Do you hear that, viewers? Retiring.
And what age did you retire?
I retired at 32.
Wow. Now,
32. Wait.
Yes.
Hold on. 32.
32.
I retired at 32.
Exactly. And sometimes in some folks' 30s, they are just really getting into their
out.
careers.
Right. We're trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
Right.
So, you retired at 32, right? Was a detective. Now, kind of move us forward to how you got into the whole financial.
Wait. I want to know how you retired at 32. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think our viewers want to know as well as call.
I was injured in the line of duty
wow.
at 31.
Wow.
And the healing process, I recovered, but I didn't. Thank God. I didn't recover as well as I needed to be doing what I need to be doing.
Oh, wow.
You know, law enforcement, no matter what the media says, no matter what people look at, the community of law enforcement is a strenuous job.
I believe it.
And you need certain facilities, your limbs to be intact.
I
suffered a knee injury, so you need those things to be intact when you're risking your life.
Wow.
But sometimes that's your lifeline.
That's true.
Whether you can retreat, get away, or whatever you need to do. And I didn't heal the way I should have for what I was doing. So after prayer, talking with doctors and the retirement system, God allowed me to retire.
Wow.
At 32.
Amen.
Yeah.
Now
So
that's a blessing.
I retired at 32.
Won't he do it?
He will.
Okay.
He will.
Now, from that point, you know, I'm sure around 2002, 2013, you was kind of like contemplating, here you go, you're 30, 32, you're young, you know, I'm sure you're thinking like, Lord, what's next?
Right.
So how did you step into wanting to inform others of financial stability and, you know, maybe it happened with you with your finances and, you know, that's how you got into that trend. So can you explain to viewers how did you make that transition from detective to financial advisor pretty much?
Absolutely. In my tenure of law enforcement, I suffered financially. I hit rock bottom at one point. So much to the point where I had to sleep in my vehicle.
Wow.
I think we all been through that.
Wow.
We all been through something like that.
Right. And it was mentally probably was more taxing than it was physically because here I am. I'm a law enforcement officer. I'm solving other people's problems every day.
So, yeah.
But you
You
got
know
your
what I'm
own.
saying?
Oh,
So now
wow.
after work, I'm going home or going to my truck, sleeping in my truck.
Wow.
I'm setting my clock every 2.5 hours to move to another spot in Walmart parking lot. So nobody would notice that I'm sleeping.
Oh,
in the parking lot.
Wow.
When I got hungry, I had to put my badge and gun on to go to McDonald's to get a free meal.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
After I did that, to shower, I had to go to the gym that they provided for us just to get a shower.
Wow.
So now all that is going on the back scene, but then in the front, I'm solving everybody else's problems.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that was tough. So I had to really solidify my relationship with God and say, okay, I need you to help me.
Yes.
And it was then when I really got for real about my walk with Christ that He opened up so many avenues. And I said, God, I want to help people. A lot of people ask, how did you make the transition from detective to real estate? Well, if you really look at law enforcement on the real forefront, we service the people.
True.
We carry gun and badge, and it looks like we tell people what to do. The Constitution starts off with we, the people.
Yeah.
We just service the people.
That's true. That's
We
true.
we enforce the laws that the people and legislation pass. So when you really look at law enforcement, we are a concierge service to the community.
That's
Right?
true.
If
That
you got
is
a
so
flat
true.
tire, we'll help you out.
Yep.
If you need to go to jail, we'll take you.
Exactly.
Supposed
A
to.
service. Yeah,
Right.
service.
If you need to go to jail, we'll take you.
Yeah.
We just provide
I
the
know.
service.
I do not.
Right. But there's some people that do need to go to jail.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so I look at it on that line. So
Wow.
I was always helping people. Contrary to popular belief, everybody commits crime. When I say everybody commits crime, I mean it's not just one demographic. It's not just one
true.
ethnicity.
That
I've locked
is
up
so
doctors. I've locked up people that were homeless. I've locked up college students. You have people committing crimes from every
all
facet of
walks of
life.
life.
Can you
Yeah.
show you lock up 45?
You know what? See?
I'm just saying.
So
No comment.
No comment. No comment. So what happens with that is you really learn how to handle people. And you just switch the product. I'm helping you solve life problems in law enforcement. You know, now I'm helping you solve financial problems.
Which is life problem.
Which is life problems.
Which
It's
is life.
all the same. You're helping people.
Exactly.
So when police officers realize they're in a help profession,
Uh-huh.
I think the world will be a whole lot different.
Wow.
Yes.
Ooh,
I
that's
agree
a whole
totally.
nother topic
Whole
about
nother.
the police.
Absolutely.
The things that going on now.
Yeah, we're not
law
gonna get on that
enforcement.
right now.
Exactly. Wow. So, with that, and you was in your valley, pretty much.
Absolutely.
When you became strong with your walk with Christ and your walk with God. So you got into the real estate, as you were stating earlier, and I'm assuming that's when you started getting your revenue a little bit and learning how to pretty much, get that thing going.
Question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you said you got into the real estate. Doesn't it take money to get into real estate?
It does.
Okay, so how did you work that?
Yes.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not expensive to get into real estate. I think here in South Carolina, to get started, the class is about $400. Then you have your fees. You get on. I say anybody can start real estate school and be licensed with somebody for about $1,500.
Oh, wow, that's not bad. If that's something you really want to do.
That's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So it took time, and I got into it that way. So after that, 2015 is when I actually started. So I got into it during the injury healing process.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then after I noticed that my progression wasn't where I needed to be, once I got released from the doctors, I started pursuing, this is what I need to do full time.
Wow. So see, you had a plan, even though you was in the valley.
Yes.
You was going through the process.
Exactly.
But he had a plan.
Yeah.
And some people won't even make an attempt to do anything. They would just sit there sometimes and just be complacent in their misery or in their valley. So that was a good thing that you had a plan and you had that will and that drive to want to do, to move forward.
Yes, ma'am.
So now you got into the real estate. I'm assuming you started selling some houses.
Right.
Started getting a little bit of revenue. And so let's move forward.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
We can talk about that out.
No, we're gonna talk about that on air. We're gonna get that going.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you got that. So now you're getting some revenue in. So where did you get to the point like, okay, I got it now. I can go out here and start teaching other people the process of financial management.
What I found in when I started in real estate. Two reasons why my focus point is where it is.
Okay.
When I started in real estate, if you really don't understand houses, most of everybody that can buy a house, with a small exception, already have a house. Okay?
True.
So,
say that again.
most of everybody that can buy a house, they already have a house.
They bought it already.
They bought it already.
Okay.
There's a small percentage of people that can buy, but haven't bought.
Okay.
So what happens is, most of all realtors go after that small pool of people that can buy.
Okay.
So now you have more fishermen than fish.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's an alarming rate of people that can't buy. That's uncharted territory. But want to, and nobody touches.
Hey, I'm in that category.
So,
right?
That's me.
You know what I'm saying?
That's me.
So what I did, I said, okay, I can either jump in this pool with all the other fishermen and try to go after this small number of people.
Yes. Yes.
Or I can get the uncharted territory of where nobody is helping the people that need help.
That's true.
And what I found is reputation and relationship takes you further in business than anything else.
Exactly.
Say that again. Wait, say that again. Say that again.
Reputation and relationship take you furthest with anybody.
That is
in business.
so true.
So what I started to do was I started to educate those people not only on how to have a house, but how to change their life.
Wow. From a whole perspective.
From a whole perspective.
Wow.
And I'm sure they appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So when they're able to buy a house, who do you think they're coming to?
They're going to you.
Right. So you build that reputation, that relationship.
Right.
The sad part about a lot of times in law enforcement, I would see, and I grew up on welfare, so this is no slight on anybody. But when you would go to those calls, and you would see the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter,
right,
it's a
all
cycle.
in the apartment
It's a
complex.
cycle.
Like, you know what?
Yes.
This is somebody needs to teach me.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
And I took that on, and I enjoyed
Wow,
it.
I applaud you for
I
that.
enjoy it. Yes.
I applaud you for that. Yes, I really do.
we need more people to do that.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, from moving to real estate, you started going out. Give our viewers some tips. Maybe that person or family of 4 or 5, living from check to check. How can we kind of like get out that cycle? And a little bit later, I want to touch on the generational person, how we can break that curse. How we can build generational wealth for, the future.
Financial stability.
Yes, and financial stability. So what's some, give our viewers some tips, on how kind of like break that cycle from living paycheck
Now,
to paycheck.
before you do that, let me tell you, financial stability and being rich are two different things.
Totally.
True. That is so
Explain
true.
that difference.
Yes.
Financial stability, and I tell people all the time, you have to redefine your happiness. Wealth to me is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Amen.
That's financial stability.
Amen.
Rich is a whole other problem.
Yes.
You don't understand. Biggie said it best, more money, more problem.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a true statement.
Wow.
So be careful for wanting to be rich. Okay? I want to be wealthy. I am wealthy.
Yes.
I'm going to continue to be wealthy.
Yes.
However, you have to be careful that you don't let greed take over.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Because the Bible says rich can take wings and fly off.
So
don't get so,
for the love of
you know what I'm
money.
saying? So don't get so caught up in wanting to be rich.
Rich.
But like you said, I love it. Financial
Yes.
stability is what I teach. I don't teach people how to get rich.
There you go.
I teach financial stability.
And I think a lot of people confuse that.
Absolutely.
That's so true.
Absolutely. They want this, just undocumented amount of money.
Right.
That breeds so much. That's the problem. And I think the best place, I don't want to get off the topic, but the best place to see that, and they created a show called 30 for 30. You can take a young black athlete that has a impoverished mentality and give him millions of dollars, and then 20 years later he's broke.
If 20.
Yep.
If 20.
If 20.
Because
name a few.
because nobody showed him financial literacy. So one thing at the peak of my career in Money Smart, I would love to be a liaison between the black community of athletes and NBA and NFL.
Wow.
So somebody can coach
Which
them.
is needed.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is
So somebody
so
can coach
needed.
them and say, hey, look, this is what you should be doing with what you're getting, because you're not always going to be the fast person. You're not going to always be the
That
quickest
is so
person off
true.
the
That is
drop.
so true.
You need to learn how to invest your money properly.
Because the agents they have, they're looking out for themselves,
Oh,
their own pockets instead of theirs.
absolutely.
So.
A lot of times they don't care.
They don't care.
They're
Right.
10 or 15% or whatever.
Right.
So now we talked about that. Now give us those tips for
So-
that living from paycheck to paycheck. How we can kind of like break that cycle.
The first place you need to break a cycle is in your mind.
Oh, wow.
You're never going to be.
Step one,
Listen.
it's in the mind, mentality.
Absolutely. The reason why I say this is because the first place you spend money is where?
Well, for a woman, we love clothes, getting our nails done,
Somebody
our
else's
hair
store.
done,
Somebody
and no
else's store.
shoes, okay?
That's the second place you spend money. The first place you spend money is in the mind.
That's true.
Because if I said, what would you do with $1 million, you already know what you're going to do with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And some of us don't even have it in our possession. So the first place we're spending it is here.
That's so true.
Look, this is tax season. There are some people that already have their tax season mapped out.
Yes.
Look, we learned something already.
You know what I'm saying? So the first place you have to correct, right, to get out of poverty is in your mind. You have to change your mindset. And
So it's a mentality.
It's a mentality.
Start with the changing of the mind. Change that
That's
mentality.
step one.
Step one. All right, step two.
The second thing is you have to restructure your budget.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
Exactly.
I guess
Some people like looking at Scandal on Thursday nights and want to keep that cable. I'm just saying.
And that's true.
Hey, I'm a Scandal
fan.
I'm not saying you can't have cable. I'm just saying be careful. There's a lot of waste that happens in the average household that we don't even pay attention to.
Wow.
Sometimes we have cable packages that we don't even need.
That's
just for
true.
one show.
Yeah, you got 50 million channels. You got 50 million channels and watch
I can attest of that.
And the average American maybe watches what, 6 hours of television a week?
Yes, between work schedules.
Or less.
Yeah, between work schedules.
If you're watching more than that, you probably don't have a job.
Oh, wow.
And that's a big part, you know. So we didn't go there. But I mean, the first step is getting in the mind. The second step is having a budget.
Okay.
And the third step is just really sitting down and understanding how money works. One of my slogans is allow me to reintroduce you to money.
All right.
I had a perception about money, right? From welfare, and my two perceptions of it came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it was never enough.
Whoa.
So those were my perceptions of money. It came from the government, and they didn't give you a whole lot of it.
No, they did.
So I spent it carelessly because I felt like, I need to make myself happy with money. Retail therapy is a real disease.
It is. It really is.
I'm glad I don't have that.
I don't either, but I do know some folks that have, experienced retail when they get stressed out.
Right.
The stores there, pretty much their sanctuary, and they go and buy all this stuff, and when
They
the
say
high
stop
they
them
come
at the
down,
market.
it's like, what did I buy?
There was a study done. I'm glad you said that. That's actually the reaction. There was a study done not some time ago where producers, like the retail people, were paying customers to come in and get CAT scans. And the reason they were doing that is because they wanted to find out which part of the brain got triggered when you heard certain music in stores.
Wow.
You ever go into a store and hear how loud the music is?
Yeah, Walmart just was there this morning.
That study drowns out your ability to think.
Wow.
So the music is loud, they have nice scents in there that relax you and calm you down. And then before you know it, you singing, looking for shirt, you spent $400, and when you come outside and all that stuff is turned off, you're like, where's my money?
Yeah, you went in for one thing and come out with 10.
Absolutely.
Exactly. But as a retailer, you just want the money.
Right.
So you want to do whatever it takes for that customer.
So I tell my clients, if you don't have a plan for your money, somebody else does.
Oh, wow.
That's so true.
Good tips.
So true.
Right.
These are some good tips. I hope our viewers are really, really listening and want to take this information in. Now, I do have another question moving forward. I know, me growing up and my parents, we always talked about the 401k.
Right.
When you get that first job, please invest in the 401k if your job have it.
Absolutely.
And things of that nature. Can you explain to viewers, is that important nowadays to have a 401k? Because I do know some folks that do not have a 401k plan. So is it important?
It's very important.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. 80 to 90% of Americans work with their body, their mind, or their hands.
That's true.
Okay? So that's called labor.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Labor funds now. Investments fund the future.
Oh.
There's going to come a time when you're not going to be able to go get up and work. Your mind doesn't work as well as it used to.
Right.
Your body is not in the shape that it used to be in. So you're going to, you're going to need something to sustain you in the years that you shouldn't be working.
Wow.
Think about it. You were at Walmart this morning.
Yeah.
That 80-year-old lady that was at the door greeting you think she wanted to be there?
Not at all.
No, somebody
and
didn't
I
tell
don't
her.
want to be there either.
Right. Somebody didn't tell her
That's
younger
true.
years that you need to save.
Wow.
I tell clients when I'm doing seminars, there's 3 buckets. There's a security bucket.
Okay.
That's your savings.
Yes.
There's a growth bucket. That's your investments.
Okay.
And there's a dream bucket. If you stack the security and the growth bucket, your dream bucket in the end will automatically get fulfilled.
Wow.
But a lot of times we spend all our lives filling the dream bucket. We wear our dreams, we drive our dreams,
That's true.
we live in our dreams, and we
That's so
eat in the
true.
restaurants of our dreams.
That is so true.
And when we get 70 or 80 years old, our security and our growth buckets are empty. And we wind up being that lady at Walmart saying, hey, how can I help you?
Wow.
Okay, well, this is what we're going to take a little break real quick.
Yes.
And then we're going to come back and talk about the different ways to invest.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Hello, this is Miss Charmaine of Ringside Rhetoric.
And I am DJ Steele.
If you would like to be a sponsor of our show, you may go to our website at www.ringsiderhetoric.com and click on our advertising link to view the sponsorship packages.
Also, if you would like to purchase any Ringside Rhetoric merchandise, please click on the shop link on our website. And thank you once again for your support. All right, we're back now, and we're going to discuss some ways that you can invest right here on Ringside Rhetoric.
Yes.
So we need to get the, financial stability going on with that.
Absolutely. So as we stated with investments, the tier to wealth, it starts with emergency fund. I would never tell anybody to go straight to investing because there's so many things that you need to understand before you get there.
Yes.
You should have an emergency fund of at least $500 to $1,000.
Okay.
That that's liquidatable.
Okay.
So you can touch immediately.
Okay, explain it on what liquidatable means.
Okay,
Yes.
so liquid means you can actually put your hands on it, not something that's tied up in stock, bond, or real estate. Something you can actually go to the bank.
401k.
Right, and put your hands on. Now the problem with that is, and I explained it because I had somebody ask me, well, what constitutes as an emergency?
Yes.
Well, in law enforcement, when I was the only time I could turn my lights on and drive fast if life was about to stop.
Oh, okay.
So, on the same context, if life is about to stop, that's an emergency.
Exactly.
The car breaks down and you can't get to work, life is going to stop and you can't get to work.
Exactly.
Right. So when you take non-emergency things and apply emergency funds, it becomes a crisis. So don't take emergency money and put it on getting your hair done. That's not an emergency, okay? So,
I don't know, man. Sometimes that is an emergency for a woman.
That's not an emergency at all.
Discipline. You like to
Discipline.
be sexy.
And there's nothing wrong with being that, but you got to be sexy on a budget.
Got them all on the budget. All on the budget.
Only men.
So then the next thing is reserves.
Okay.
You should have at least 6 months of income saved.
Wow.
As to where if you couldn't work for 6 months, you weren't affected because you had that money in the bank.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, that's where a lot of people,
Right.
really, that's where a lot of people fail.
That's what
I mean,
well, I would fail in the $500 emergency fund.
exactly.
Statistics say 63% of people that you walk by every day don't have $500.
That is true.
That's more than half of the people you see every day. So
Wow.
get that emergency fund, then getting a reserves of 3 to 6 months
Okay.
in the bank.
Okay.
After you do that, 401k, stocks and bonds, whatever you may do. Then when you get to the point where you've maxed out all of those options, then I tell people to invest in real estate. Start buying houses.
Okay.
Start buying property.
That's a long-term
Start
generational.
flipping houses.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's the tier of wealth, but you have to start where you need to be able to get your hands on some cash, leave it alone, and let it stay there, and then start building that wealth tier.
But that all goes back to discipline.
That's the ingredient.
That
Willpower.
mindset,
That's the
that
ingredient.
willpower.
That's the ingredient.
Wow.
You have to do that.
Wow.
Without that, it doesn't work. I mean, that's what separates people the haves and the have-nots. The discipline.
So, what would you say to that student, like I was, getting out of college? Of course, student loan debts, especially now in our society. You know, And what would you tell that student, moving forward, how to create some financial stability, even though they having those student loans, which is...
That would start in college before they even graduate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day. What's going to be scary, and when I say this, people are like, that's kind of crazy. In 20 years, college won't be anymore.
Listen, I totally agree.
I'm telling you. The reason why I'm saying that is
I
because
totally agree.
these millennials are figuring out, or this Z generation,
Mm-hmm.
they're figuring out, I don't want to inherit $100,000 worth of debt,
That is so
have
true.
a $40,000 job,
Yeah,
and be behind the eight
that is so true.
So they're going to start some community of themselves where they train each other,
I agree.
and then they go out and work
Yeah.
because they're the future.
Wow.
So they're not going to be stuck getting in debt like mama and auntie.
Exactly.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I promise you, in 20 years, college won't be a 4-year plan. It'll be more of a trade school or
Like
learn
a technical
something.
It's getting that way now.
I'm telling you,
It's getting that way now.
universities are suffering right now
That's
because
true.
millennials are pulling out
Finding
doing
ways.
it.
Well, with the millennial, technology came into play,
Absolutely.
which created give us the opportunity to do what we're doing right here now, so we can reach out to millions,
Right.
and our viewers as well. So, I can see what you're saying in 20 years. College probably won't even be around because of technology.
Well, it'll always be there, but not as many people are going to use it like they do
I
now.
wish I knew
I
the
think-
statistics of college enrollment now.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
It's
at low.
dropping. It's dropping because you have to look at. I mean, these kids are figuring out, well, I can go get a certificate and make more than the person with less debt than the person.
There's some that don't have degrees at all and still make more money.
Not gonna get on that. I have my degree or degrees, but
But
yeah.
education is great. I push
It
education
is.
all the time.
It is. I mean, I would not put.
That's the last thing I'm gonna say on that subject. How many people got degrees but are working in their field?
Oh my God.
Well, I am. I'm a business major, so.
One of the few. One of the few.
So, for as a college student,
Mhm.
we touched on the families. Is there any other tips that you possibly can give folks that will help them get financial stability or create generational wealth? As you're saying, not be rich.
I have a
Not trying to be rich,
I have a
but
10-step
wealth.
program.
Okay.
And it's 803-743-3231. That's my cell phone number.
Okay.
My business line. 10-step program. 10 digits. 803-743-3231.
Please listen, tune in.
One more time. One more time.
803-743-3231.
Okay.
I say hire somebody that knows wealth, that knows finances. Back in retrain them. Again, my slogan is allow me to reintroduce you to wealth.
Yes.
Because we don't understand it. You wouldn't go into a courtroom without an attorney.
That's
So
true.
you can't manage what you don't understand.
That is
So
so
you
true.
need to get an understanding.
Listen, law and order does not make you a lawyer.
Oh my God. It does.
That is
You
true.
need to get that under your belt. At least let
Okay.
somebody. My initial program is 3 months. I don't try to drain my clients. I tell them, hey, I'm going to show you what's effective and what you can do to increase your wealth. And then when when our term is done,
Yes.
you want to keep me on. Some people have kept me on and then down doing
Okay.
investments. Some people go through that 3-month course, come into my office without a dime in their pocket. When they leave, they got 4 digits.
Wow.
Because I showed them how
I
to.
might need a
You know what I'm
visit.
saying?
We can talk about that off air.
So it just shows you how to get done what you need to get done.
Okay. Wow. Well, we thank you for coming
Thank you
today.
for having
Really sharing your wealth of knowledge on financial
We
stability.
appreciate it. I learned something today.
Exactly. I'm definitely going to be contacting you on
Absolutely.
Okay,
financial.
wait, before you go, one more question.
Sure.
What is the difference between IRAs, Roth IRAs, CDs, and all that?
So a CD is pretty much a glorified savings account. It just says certificate of deposit. A CD you can't touch for 5 years. So
What's
you
the normal interest rate on return?
somewhere between 3 and 5%, which is
Okay.
nothing.
No.
You need at least a 6% investment to secure inflation.
Okay.
Because you have to pay taxes on that money. There's fees on that money.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a 6% investment, you're not really doing anything because it's like taking money and putting it in a jar. It's not doing anything.
Wow.
IRA and IRA Roth. The difference between one is it's a tax-free, so
Okay.
you don't have to pay taxes on it.
Okay.
You can pull from it and you're not penalized. When the IRA Roth matures at the age of 59 and a half, you can pull 100% out and not be penalized for it.
Oh, okay.
But another
That's a good tip.
right, simple
That's a good
IRA.
tip.
I'm getting all this free now.
Yes.
Simple IRA is a 5 to 7 year plan.
Okay.
And then that's what you want to do. A lot of people don't realize 401k used to be you had to stay at that job for 30 years before you can get it.
Right.
Now you can roll 401k into an IRA.
Oh, okay.
That
So
is
when you
real
leave that
good.
company, one of my slogans is you can't take. Just say you can't take money with you.
Yeah, you
You
can't
can.
take,
So
okay.
your 401k follows you, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's just the jacket that your money's protected in, but you roll it into an IRA.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
Now, how important is credit?
oh my God.
Um,
The Bible says a good name is better than money.
Oh,
So
wow.
you have to
I'm in
realize.
trouble then. I'm in trouble.
You have to understand, credit can get you things money can't. Cash is king, no doubt.
Mhm.
Cash is king. However, credit can get you in doors and in places that money cannot.
That's so true.
So credit is very important. And that's a lot of times, a lot of my clients, that's where we start. Just
With the
revamping their credit. Yeah.
credit.
So you actually help people with their credit
Absolutely.
too?
We credit counsel, we financial budget right. I do investments, we do everything on the
Wow.
So give me that number again.
803-743-3231.
And listen, one more thing before you get out.
Mhm.
You touched on the credit. You know, I hear people talk about, if you give me $200, I can revamp the credit.
Yeah.
How, is that a scam? Can you, I don't know, just say something to that. Is that a myth, or do you really have to, pay off some of that debt? Or, whatever. I mean,
There
try
are-
to explain that before we
There are a lot of people out here that, and there's one in particular.
Uh-huh.
Name some of the cities in Colombia. You got
You got Santee.
no, in
No.
Colombia.
Oh, in Columbia.
City.
You got Greenview,
Oh.
Morris Acres,
Mhm.
Lexington.
All right, we're gonna start right there.
Mhm.
So there are some people
Oh yeah, all right. Okay. I know where you're going with
that
that.
will ask you.
I'm a statistic,
Right.
right?
So you have to be careful
I got you.
because a lot of people they want to keep you on a 12 to 18 month program just to
Yes.
get money from you.
Mm-hmm.
When
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
can usually clear your credit and get you approved for any major purchase in 3 months.
Wow.
Usually, most
In
of
3
Did you
months?
hear that?
Wait,
You
in 3 months?
hear that?
3 months.
Okay.
I had someone that's like 6 months to a
Oh,
year.
God. I've gotten so many people from that company to come over and we get them
Wow.
done in 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Look, I'm part of that
Wow.
statistic right there.
Yeah.
I've been through that.
And you caught my drift.
Okay.
I knew exactly what you
Well.
Okay, on that note, we
Yeah.
want to thank him once again for
Thank
coming.
you.
Yes, Damian, we want to thank you very much for
Thank you
coming
for
in.
the
Like I
opportunity.
said earlier, sharing your wealth of knowledge on financial stability.
Tell him number one more time.
Well, I told us going to memorize.
That's right.
803-743-3231.
All right, viewers, thank you again. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode.
Hopefully you learned something.
Exactly. Please pay attention to the financial steps from Mr. Damian. Again, thank you for tuning in.
Break the cycle. Break the
Yes.
cycle.
And again, see you later. And this is
Ringside Rhetoric. Don't forget to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram,
And
and Twitter. That's right. And if you have a topic you want us to discuss, hit us up on our email, rsrhetoric@gmail.com. All right. Peace.
It's your man's DJ Steele along with Miss Charmaine. We're hitting truth in the face cause that's our claim to fame. We're gonna talk about the topics no one talks about. We gotta find us a solution to the problem we got. It's time to take it to the ring, let's get it on and pop in. We're strapping on the glove so we can get this thing rocking. Gonna keep it 100, that's as real as it gets. Now it's time to hit you with that ringside rhetoric.
We gonna take you to the ring so we can do our thing. This is round 2 and what we say Mike's thing. We coming live, hitting truth in the face. Popping good topics so that you can relate. So take a backseat to the BS chatter. Recognize real on the topics that matter to our society. Let go of your pride. Listen real close and we take you
Ringside.
Heavyweight bout, hitting every topic's what the show is about. We hit 'em with a left, we hit 'em with a right. We got a KO, we on fire tonight. One topic down, now we're looking for some others. As long as God's first, the real will be uncovered. Body blow, headshot, then another body blow. Now that we have your attention, on with the show.
Ringside.